Hi guys! We are now nearing our completion of our 10-part video. Today we are at the 8th part already. So now we need to invoke our inner geniuses, formulate comprehensive theories and mixing cocktails of dangerous chemicals. We will enroll ourselves to the laboratory of the dragon wizard Izzet and his Izzet guild. So here we have the Izzet guild box or guild kit to open today. So before that, we also need to open our box and get one pack to reveal the contents. So again, we will need to thank our good friend Mr. Jonel Dumlao of Ordo Online Hobby and Card Shop for this Commander Legends pack. And finally, we need to thank also our good friend JR Shantri Korean of Nissan Hikaru Hobby Shop for providing us a complete 10 set or 10 guild kits. So now we can start opening our kit. So here, still the same contents, but the heading says here, Izzet League. Welcome to the Izzet League. Our calculations suggest that you're bound for greatness. This box contains a variety of highly classified prototypes to assist with your experiments. So Growl, try something new. There you go. So Izzet killed the mad geniuses of the Ravnica plane. So they are in combination of blue and red. So damage and counter spell. Here we have the standard deck box with the emblem of the guild. This time it's Izzet. Then a sticker and their insert. So let's read what they have to say. It says here, Izzet League non-comprehensive. So it has the guidelines for optimal Izzet conduct. 1. If your experiment is producing insufficient results, try adding plasma. Erase impossible from your vocabulary and do not replace it with a synonym. Something new every day. The point of science is not to endlessly confirm what is known. It is to the barriers of reality to better demolish them. So 3A, experiments do not fail. They simply succeed at different goals than you anticipated. So here's says 7. If you encounter a new data point that challenges your theory, revise both theory and the data point. Then memorize the 87 and 94. It was crossed out. 106 laws of quasi-particle electrolysation. Says here also, erase, strive to discover map. Then have also here A. If your experiment is producing insufficient result, try adding plasma. Erase impossible from your vocabulary and do not replace it with a synonym. Then 2. Strive to discover something new every day. The point of science is not to endlessly confirm what is known. It is to map the barriers of reality to better demolish them. 4. Experiments do not fail. They simply succeed at the different goals than you anticipated. Then 7. If you encounter a new data point, revise both the theory and the data point. Then lastly, memorize the 87 and 94 cross out. 106 laws of quasi-particle electrolysation. So it was just repeated from the other side. So there we have the Izzet Guild. So it was showcased here by Izzet himself, the Dragon Wizard, with a new art. Also, we have here their symbolized 20-sided dice. And of course, our Izzet guild pin. Then we have our pre-constructed deck. And finally, we have our legendary creature that helmed the box. So it's Izzet, the Fire Mine. I think this is the original Izzet that was introduced to us during Ravnica days, or the first Ravnica that we visited. So Izzet, the Fire Mine is a 6 to cast for 4 legendary creature dragon wizard. So 2 generic and 2 set of Izzet colors, so 2 blue and 2 red. So it has flying, and whenever we draw a card, Izzet the Fireman will deal 1 damage to any target. And it has also the ability of, we can tap this one and draw a card. Then it has, this card has the equation of something that we cannot decipher what does it mean. There you go. It's like in an open or closed parenthesis, Z minus greater than 90 degrees minus E minus in an open closed parenthesis N to the second power of W with 90 degrees. I'm not sure this one, I'm not really good in math. T or minus 1 or equals 1 rather. So there you go, our legendary creature. So we will just set this aside, the other things here, to open our pre-constructed deck. Just put them. So the first card we see here is Erratic Cyclops. So Erratic Cyclops is a 4 to cast 0/8 creature Cyclops Shaman. So 3 generic and 1 red. It has trample. Then whenever we cast an instant or sorcery spell, this gets plus X plus 0 until end of turn, where X is that spell's converted mana cost. So Mari Izzet Chamberlain says here, the league accepts no responsibility for former members and the damage they may cause. That's our first rare. Second rare is a legendary creature. One of the first legendary creatures that was revealed to us during our first introduction to Ravnica. So Tibor and Lumia, twin I think. So 4 to cast 3/3 legendary creature human wizard, 2 generic and 1 set of Izzet colors. So whenever we play a blue spell, target creature gains flying until end of turn. And whenever we cast a red spell, Tibor and Lumia deals 1 damage to each creature without flying. It says here in the playboard text, tracing the horizon in a dance of wind and fire. There we go. Next we have a Hypersonic Dragon, a 5 to cast 4/4 creature dragon, 3 generic and 1 set of Izzet colors. It has haste and flying. Then we can play sorcery spell as though they had flash. So sorcery spell becomes like an instant. So Izzet says here, even this primitive specimen of my kind is impressive. Then we have the next rare, Jin Illuminatus. So Jin Illuminatus is a 7 to cast 3/5 creature Jin. So 5 generic and 2 in either combination of the Izzet colors. So either 2 red, 2 blue, or 1 red and 1 blue. So it has flying, and instant and sorcery spell you cast has replicate. Replicate cost is equal to its mana cost. So replicate is, I think, the very first ability that the Izzet guilds has. When we first went to Lane of Ravnica. So replicate says here, when you cast this, We can copy it for each time we paid the replicate cost. And we may choose new targets for the copies. Next we have Museum Mortars. So Museum Mortars is a 2 to cast sorcery, 1 generic and 1 red. So Museum Mortars deals 4 damage to target creature we don't control. It has the Overload ability. Overload ability is the second ability that the Izzet guild acquired when we again visited the Lane of Ravnica. So overload cost here is 6, 3 generic and triple red mana. Then says here you may cast this spell for each overload cost. So if you pay the overload cost, it will change the text of all instances of target in this card with each. So it will become deals 4 damage to each creature we don't control. Next we have a Firemind's Research. So a Firemind's Research is a 2 to cast enchantment. So a combination or set of Izzet color. So whenever we cast an instant or sorcery spell, we put a charge counter on Firemind's Research. Then it has 2 abilities. So first one is we can pay with 2 mana, 1 generic and 1 blue. We remove 2 counters or charge counters from this card to draw a card. The other is we remove 5 charge counters from this card. It will deal 5 damage to any target. So it can be paid with 2 mana, 1 generic and 1 red. Next one we have Char. So Char is a 3 to cast instant, 2 generic and 1 red that deals 4 damage to any target and 2 damage to us. Then flavor text says here also, Izzet mages often acquire their magic reagents from dubious sources, so the potency of their spells is never predictable. There. Now we have Quasi Duplicate. So Quasi Duplicate is a 2 to cast sorcery, 1 generic and 2 blue. So says here we create a token that's a copy of target creature we control, and it has the Jumpstart ability. Jumpstart is the current ability of the Izzet guild. So Jumpstart there says here you may cast this card from our graveyard by discarding a card in addition to paying its other costs. Then we can exile this card. So it's like a flashback but an additional cost of discarding a card. So one of this guys says here in the flavor text, my greatest creation, me. Next we have a Cerebral Vortex. So I think this will be also our first word, Vortex. So Cerebral Vortex is a 3 to cast instant, 1 generic and 1 set of Izzet color. So target player draws 2 cards, then this card will deal damage to that player equal to the number of cards they've drawn this turn. Then says here, Izzet Brains and Izzet Boilers, contents under pressure. Next where we have is Stitch in Time, a 3 to cast sorcery, 1 generic and 1 set of Izzet colors. So it says here we flip a coin, then if we win the flip, we take an extra turn after this one. This one or this card will be a good addition to the one I'm planning. Clark the Tumbless in partner with Sakashima of the Thousand Faces from Commander Legends. So this will be a good addition to that. Says here, Kazel was told by his mentor to make more time for his studies. Next where we have is a Invoke the Firemind. So Invoke the Firemind is an X spell with a set of Izzet color with an additional blue. So a sorcery with 2 abilities. So we need to choose one. Either we draw X cards equal to the how much we paid X, or we deal X damage to any target. And flavor text says here, to those in tune with the fire mind, there is no difference between knowledge and flame. So that's our last rare in the box. So here we will see our tokens and other cards. So we have here 4 blue weird tokens. At their back is 5 red goblins. Now we proceed to our non-basic lands. So we have here set of Izzet Boiler Works, a war, Bounce Land. We have a set of Izzet Guild Gate with 2 art also. We have our exclusive Guild Gate basic lands. So we have 8 island and 8 also mountain that bears the mark of the Izzet Guild. Also here we have our uncommon and common cards. So we have Electrickery, a Shattering Spree, 2 Izzet Signet, a Radical Idea, a Pyromatics, an Izzet Charm, a Thunderheads, a Direct Current, a Beacon Bolt, and this will be our, I think, the second word. So Beacon. So Beacon Bolt is a 3-2 cast sorcery, 1 generic and 1 set of Izzet colors. It deals damage to target creature equal to the total number of instant and sorcery cards we own in exile and in our graveyard. So it has also the Jumpstart ability. So this will be our second word, Beacon. Next we have Electrolyze, a Chemist's Insight, a Goblin Rally, then a Split card that has the Fuse ability, Turn and Burn. Then we have also Electrostatic Field, Goblin Electromancer, 2 Nivix Guildmage, a Gutter Snipe, a pair of those. We have Gelectrode, Dragonauts, pair also, and our last word, Crackling. So we have Crackling Drake here, a 4-2 cast, star for power and 4 toughness creature Drake. So 2 sets of Izzet colors. So says here, its power is equal to the number of instant and sorcery cards we own in exile and in our graveyard. So when it enters the battlefield, we also draw a card. So this is our third word, Crackling. Now we can proceed to our reveal of the pack. Hopefully we get something good also here. So this is underwhelming. The Izzet Guild, they only have 2 legendary inside their kit, not like others like 3 or more. So only a pair. So here we have Soldier Token, a white one. Then we have the Prismatic Piper, a foil Corpse Churn. Then we have our first legendary, a good card, Obeka, Brute Chronologist, a 4-2 cast 3-3 or 3-4 rather, legendary creature, Ogre Wizard. So 1 generic and a set of Grixis colors, 1 blue, 1 red, and 1 black. So it will also go well with here because it has also the Izzet color. So it has tap this creature. The player whose turn it is may end the turn. So any abilities or any spells will be exiled from the stack, and all turn or this turn and until end turn effects end. So Obeka says here, I'm bored with now. So I was thinking of making the Obeka Brute Chronologies deck but not a turns deck. I was planning for keeping tokens deck because there's cards that usually causes less but give us big creature tokens, but unfortunately we need to sacrifice one at the end of term. So Obeka could bypass those restrictions. So here is our legend Obeka. Next we have another legend, Malcolm, Keen-Eyed Navigator. Then we have a rare, Promise of Tomorrow by yours truly, Seb McKinnon. We have also here Sunstone Oracle, and will be our fourth word, Oracle. So Sunstone Oracle is a 7 to cast 4/4 artifact creature Sphinx. So 7 generic. It has also flying, and when this enters the battlefield, we can choose an opponent. If that player has more cards in hand than us, we can draw cards equal to the difference. So this is our fourth word, Oracle. Next we have Volcanic Dragon, Angelic Armaments, Amorphous Axe, a Ghastly Demise, which will be also our last word. So last word is Demise. So Ghastly Demise is a 1-2 cast instant that only be paid with black mana. So we destroy target non-black creature if its toughness is less than or equal to the number of cards in our graveyard. So Braid's Dimension Summoner says here, anyone can snap her fingers and yank a soul. I prefer to kill creatively. So this is our last word, Demise. Next we have Found Inspector, Sentinel Spider, a Ninth Bridge Patrol, a Dund Operative, Angelic Gift, Airby or Aven, Surveyor rather, second to the last, Makeshift Munitions, and our last card, Jalum Dome. So now, we already finished opening and revealing the cards we have